From KSMQ Television in Austin, this is On Cue, connecting interesting issues and interesting people. On Cue.
The Minnesota Renewable Energy Roundtable recently met to discuss the potential for biomass as part of the Destination Medical Center project in Rochester. Here to tell us more is Michael Sparby from the Agriculture Utilization Research Institute. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Eric.
Biomass is a fuel source, I know that much, but tell me a little bit about how it would fit into the Destination Medical Center project.
Yeah, what they looked at with the meeting on July 17th was we pulled in experts from around the region. So individuals from Fargo, North Dakota, to La Crosse, to western Minnesota, to identify what the potential is. The meeting was structured as such where we looked at what were some of the opportunities as it pertains to policy initiatives on the federal and the state level, as well as moving into identification of what the availability of biomass would be. And specifically to answer your question, the biomass would be used to heat and cool an area of downtown Rochester. We looked at the availability of biomass, woody biomass, which would be leftover, switchgrass. At least on the woody side, it would be more of the tops.
Waste.
Yep, tops and the limbs, and what's available within a 50-mile radius.
And you would burn those in a power plant that would burn that in place of traditional methods like coal, correct?
Coal
which has
or natural
more,
gas
which has
or,
more
yep,
pollutants.
exactly.
So it's better for the environment.
Exactly. You're utilizing a carbon source that is renewable, as opposed to a carbon source that was captured millions of years ago.
So that's one way. What about like solar or wind energy, those kind of things? Is that viable?
Usually not in a standalone, but in a suite of different technologies. So one of the examples at the meeting, the case study, or actually a discussion, was Gundersen Health Systems. They gave a presentation on what they did to move their hospital and buildings to essentially be a net zero. So they are actually producing more energy than they're using. And with that, it's a combination of geothermal, solar, wind, as well as biomass. So it's a suite of technologies that are put together. And with them, probably one of the biggest one was conservation. So identifying where their greatest uses were, and being able to put in technologies that reduce that use.
So if I'm a business owner downtown in Rochester, or the clinic, obviously, would everybody be part of this system, or how would it work?
Well, all of that needs to be hammered out in the details, but another presenter that was at the meeting was Ken Smith from St. Paul District Energy. So looking at what the city of St. Paul has done, where they are supplying heating and cooling to the downtown St. Paul area. So, and they are operating that with woody biomass, mainly coming from trees or limbs that have fallen within the metro area, as well as within about a 50-mile radius from downtown St. Paul.
And then it comes into a facility there in downtown somewhere?
Yep, it comes into a facility in downtown. It's located by the XL Energy Center, by the Science Museum.
Oh, sure.
Right next door. And they have the trucks coming in and dumping the biomass off and utilizing that for their heating and cooling needs.
We're talking with Michael Sparby of the Agriculture Utilization Research Institute about plans or discussions to have a little renewable energy use in the Destination Medical Center project.
You know, I think our purpose of having the roundtable, give you a little bit of the history of the roundtable. AURI and our stakeholders started the roundtable back in about 2006, really just to pull individuals that have interest in moving renewable energy in the state of Minnesota forward. And we structure the roundtables around different areas of interest. So one may be looking at liquid fuels, so biodiesel, ethanol. Another one we looked at higher valued liquid fuels, so getting into chemicals and utilizing biomass for higher value uses. And this one was specific to the Rochester area. We had gotten calls from the area expressing interest, so we decided to pull together in collaboration with the entities within the Destination Medical Center project or organization to put together a forum that supplies information, allows them to ask questions, and hopefully plant some seeds and see where it goes.
Was DMC participating in this?
Yes.
And what takeaways did you get from them?
Specifically, I did not have specific conversations, but the overall takeaway from the meeting was extremely positive. There was about 60 individuals at the meeting. And a lot of questions, a lot of in-depth questions, and very productive.
Just as a technology, when you talk about biomass, is the technology there, and is the resource, is there enough of the stuff to make it viable?
Good question. So part of the presentations, one was from the DNR. Taking a look at the availability of woody biomass within a 50-mile radius of Rochester, and identified more than enough woody biomass. On top of that, we had Dr. Joel Talixon, who is from the University of Minnesota, located out in Morris, Minnesota, and he had done a report that was sponsored by AURI and the Minnesota Corn Growers and the university to look at the egg biomass, specifically stover, corn stover. And the report identified about 50,000 tons of available biomass. So that's biomass that would be able to be taken off the land, but yet still maintaining enough residue on the land where you're not depleting the soils.
Boy, that's great. It's probably more expensive, and the whole infrastructure of transport and procurement.
They're utilizing egg biomass does definitely bring into play storage, densification, transportation issues that you don't necessarily have with the woody biomass because it's already in a dense form. You can store it and in its current form. So usually with woody biomass, the economics are going to be much better as opposed to an egg biomass.
Okay. Well, wonderful, Michael. This was interesting, and good luck as you continue to pursue green alternatives for the DMC project.
Great. Thank you.
Michael Sparby from the Agriculture Utilization Research Institute.
Information about the Minnesota Renewable Energy Roundtable, as well as the Agricultural Utilization Research Institute, is available at auri.org.
On Cue is a production of KSMQ Television in Austin, nonprofit public television.